I sat alone in my living room, surrounded by the eerie silence that comes with an empty house. My parents had left for a weekend getaway, and I had the whole place to myself. The clock on the wall ticked away, each second stretching longer than the last. As darkness settled outside, the only source of light was the soft glow of the television. I decided to distract myself with a movie, hoping to shake off the unease that had settled over me. The dim light flickered, casting shadows that danced on the walls. The movie played, but my mind couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. I dismissed it as paranoia, blaming the creepy atmosphere created by the horror film. As the movie reached its climax, a sudden power outage plunged the house into complete darkness. Panic set in as I fumbled for my phone to use its flashlight. The sudden silence was broken by an unfamiliar sound, a creaking noise that echoed through the house. My heart raced and beads of sweat formed on my forehead. I cautiously made my way to the circuit breaker, guided by the feeble light of my phone. As I flipped the switch, the lights flickered back to life, but something felt off. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was no longer alone. The air seemed heavy with an unspoken presence. Trying to shake off my unease, I returned to the living room, only to find the television turned off. I hesitated for a moment before deciding to leave it be. Perhaps the power outage had triggered some automatic shutdown. I settled back on the couch, determined to resume the movie and distract myself from the growing unease. As I focused on the screen, a sudden chill ran down my spine. The temperature in the room had dropped noticeably, and the air seemed to thicken. I glanced around, half expecting to see a shadow lurking in the corners. The sense of being watched intensified, and I felt an invisible gaze burning into me. Attempting to dismiss the fear that gripped me, I convinced myself it was just my imagination playing tricks. Yet every attempt at rationalization couldn't shake the unsettling feeling that something or someone was lurking in the darkness of my home. With a deep breath, I decided to investigate. I moved cautiously through the house, checking every room, convinced that I would find nothing. However, as I entered the hallway leading to my bedroom, I heard a soft whisper, a barely audible murmur that sent shivers down my spine. Alone, but not really alone, are you? The voice was chilling, and it seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once. My heart pounded in my chest as I scanned the hallway, but there was no one there. Fear took hold, and I stumbled back into the living room, frantically searching for the source of the voice. The atmosphere in the house had shifted, and an oppressive presence hung in the air. As I stood there, paralyzed by fear, the whisper returned, closer this time. Alone, yet surrounded. Can you feel us? Terror gripped me, and I sprinted for the front door. But as I reached for the doorknob, it wouldn't budge. Panic set in as I realized I was trapped inside with whatever unseen force haunted my home. Desperation and fear consumed me as the whispers grew louder, echoing through the walls. I felt a cold breath on the back of my neck, and a shadowy figure materialized before me. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, and a malevolent grin spread across its face. Alone, forever alone, it hissed as darkness enveloped me. In the midst of the surreal nightmare, a dim light flickered in the distance. A feeble glimmer of hope emerged, and I stumbled toward it, guided by an instinctive urge to break free from the oppressive darkness. The whispers grew louder, the faces contorted in agony, but the light beckoned like a beacon of salvation. As I reached the source of the light, the oppressive darkness retreated. I found myself standing in the living room once again, the television casting its soft glow. The atmosphere had shifted. the malevolent presence replaced by an eerie calm. The clock on the wall resumed its steady ticking, and a tentative sense of normalcy returned. Confused and disoriented, I stumbled toward the front door. This time, it opened without resistance. I stepped outside into the cool morning light, my heart still pounding from the nightmarish ordeal. The once haunting whispers faded away, leaving me with a haunting memory of a night spent in the clutches of something beyond comprehension. The neighbors, oblivious to the supernatural events, continued with their lives, unaware of the horror that had unfolded within the seemingly ordinary house. The world outside remained unchanged, but the scars of that night lingered in the recesses of my mind. I never spoke of the night I was alone in the dark, surrounded by unseen entities. The memories haunted me, a chilling reminder that some things defy explanation. The house, now a shell of its former self, stood as a silent witness to a reality that transcended the boundaries of the known.